Hello, welcome back, everybody. Slim Slam and the Bandwagon Fan review show for week 10. I'm Slim, he's Slam, and to my left, there is no Bandwagon Fan.
No.
Slam,
Yes, mate.
how are we?
Not bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright.
That's good.
Doing a bit better than the big guy.
Well, apparently so. He's not in a too flash hot of a way at the moment, so it's a bit of a worry, but, you know.
I mean, if anything, at this time of year in Adelaide at the moment, COVID's kicking off. I mean, I'm pretty glad he's not in here.
Well, absolutely right, Blaze.
Look out for the providers, for the fans out there.
No joke.
One goes down, we can't lose the whole booth.
It's very true, Blaze.
So, to be honest, I'm surprised
The
he could
loyal
actually,
listeners.
if he is crook, I'm surprised he could catch anything with the amount of sweat he poured out last week.
That is very true. The hot box was dangerous, but it's nice this week.
It's very. It's yeah. I mean, let's not get carried away or anything. It's just me and you in here, but you know, we're tracking it right.
Yeah, I just meant the weather.
Yeah. Very good. Now, obviously, in the absence of the big guys, the review show tends to go. Good call, bad call's on the way.
I know.
But it's coming from a different place.
It's weird, isn't it, Blaze?
It makes me smile a little bit because Schnaz, the Bandwagon Fan, for all his hubris, for his size and all the rest of it, he's hammering on about a Gmail account.
Yeah.
How you two are going to run your own, get out there on the high seas and do your own thing.
That Gmail is popping off.
I can imagine. Well, it's popping off tonight because the big bastard's not here.
Yeah,
so.
well, yeah. I mean, who knows? He hasn't given me the password to it either.
So. Oh, hasn't he? Okay, well, that makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Hey, enough rambling there. Good call, bad call on the way. I'm going to start with one I posted during the week after a pretty interesting result. The Jersey Cartel, as always, proudly sponsoring the show. His Eagles went down to the Giants this week. So my question to you, Schlammer, is Giants are the best team in the NFC East now.
Well, Blaze, I'm on board with it. I think that's a great call. And you know why? Because I feel like I had a little bit of an inkling to it as well. Because I put them in a multi on the weekend, and they were paying $3.10, and that got over the line. But the whole multi actually went down due to the Seahawks losing, which was a real kick in the pants.
I can't wait to get to that one.
I know. $20 into 500. They've cost me.
Done it.
Yeah, Russ.
That elusive sports bet gold.
I know.
He always chasing your tail.
But, just the $3 odds of that just absolutely blew everything out of the water.
Hey, we're talking about a team now that's really putting together quite the resume in the last 3-4 weeks.
That's exactly right, Blaze. I think it's 3 wins on the trot, if I'm not mistaken. I think they were 0-7, and now they're 3-7.
I believe so. And a couple of close losses mixed in there too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Cowboys.
And
someone else.
But they're just playing. I would say in the NFC East at the moment, they're playing the best football. They're definitely in the best form.
They took the Cowboys all the way.
Yeah.
And obviously lost late. They've now beat the Eagles. They beat Washington. So I mean. The Cowboys aren't exactly going crash shot at the moment. They had the bye. They'd be happy with the bye.
Sad thing for this whole division is, Blaze, most of their divisional games have actually already happened. Yeah. And nobody's got more than 3 wins. So, and they've got to play quite a few games coming up against the NFC West.
Yes. So that's going to get real hairy.
Someone is genuinely going to win this division with 6 and potentially 5 wins.
Yeah.
So,
I think 5 is probably right.
You'll never have seen anything like this ever before. This is going to be something just completely unseen.
And then they're going to roll into the playoffs and come up against a real quality team.
Yeah,
and,
but how broken is it that they'll get to play that game at home?
System. Yeah,
at home against a team that's probably won 5, 6 games more than them potentially. So
it's a real bloody concern. Hey, moving on to my next question here. Obviously, the theme here is going to be a bit of me time for you and me.
No joke.
In some of these questions,
the
big guy's not in control. But do you reckon DeAndre Hopkins heard you when you called Devontae Adams the best wide receiver in the league? Because he just did a little bit of something crazy this week.
You're damn right I do, Blaze. I think I spoke him into just coming back out and going, "Hang on, young fella.
Yeah.
You're saying that I'm not the best anymore. You're saying all preseason that I'm the best.
He checked you.
Even when Michael Thomas had all those yards, you were still saying I was the best.
The nuke.
And now you want to give it to Devontae Adams, just because I haven't been doing, absolute bits for maybe a week or 2. Don't even think about it, son. I'm just going to go up there on a Hail Mary against 3 defenders on my own and just pluck the thing and pull it down.
Oh, it was like, going up into Heaven's Gate and just pulling
I was thinking, Blaze, it honestly might be the greatest Hail Mary catch I've ever seen.
It'd be up there.
Over 3 defenders.
Nothing
and
really
it wasn't even moving when he did it as well. He was standing still. He just jumped straight up, put those massive arms of his up in the air and pulled one down. And there were other hands on that football. Just ripped it out of their hand.
Bugging me, that man, the get up. And there's something about seeing, DeAndre Hopkins does something magical like that. This is an unbelievable play. And the first person there to hug him, Larry Legend. God, that is just...
Took off.
That is sports narrative, 101. I loved the hell out of that.
Yeah,
that was fantastic. If you haven't seen it, definitely check out the highlights.
Oh, you got to see it.
That game in general, I mean, the Bills went up They scored a touchdown with about 30 seconds to go.
Seconds
yeah,
left. 36 seconds. Diggs scores a touchdown.
That game's worth a rewatch in its entirety,
100%.
probably, in all honesty. It was a real cracker.
Probably one of the best games of the year.
So far, absolutely. Yeah, especially pre-playoffs, that's for sure.
Yeah.
On a bit of a sober note here, but as the two Chiefs fans are in control,
sober?
A somber, sorry, a sobering note. Yeah,
take notes. Sam has just helped Blaze with English. You will never see it again.
I'm not loving that whatsoever. What I am enjoying, by virtue of a Chiefs fan by association, Russell Wilson's cooking has gone cold.
Well,
good call, bad call.
It's another good call, I think, there, Blaze. And we might have geared them this way, but it's another good call from us.
Yes, very good.
He slowed down a little bit. That hot pot for the gumbo.
It's not exactly
It's not cooking. Nah.
I mean, he's serving up a few things, most of them else.
Yeah, well, I couldn't believe on the weekend they lost to the Rams. Could not believe it. Just, I've been up and down on the Rams all year, and I kept saying about how they've only beaten those NFC East teams, and I was a bit skeptical of the Rams. No doubt I definitely was. I just thought maybe we're being unfair because of how much Russ is just making the Seattle defense not look as bad as it does because he just keeps getting them out of jams.
I think you're dead right.
But I just can't believe they lost to the Rams. But in the grand scheme of, and the way I feel like you're asking the question, his MVP race thing and how far he was in front, I don't think he's even leading anymore.
That window is certainly tightening for sure. I think we're talking multiple games.
Because my guy Tua is coming.
Oh yeah, we're going to get to that. We're going to spend a bit of a time on the Miami Dolphins tonight. But I think when you talk about an MVP season, early on there, you're on track to break touchdown records. Yeah, it all looks fantastic. Maybe hit the skids a little bit recently. You can't write off the Seahawks by any means.
No,
but that defense has still got way too many holes.
It's
leaky.
It's bad. It is bad.
And the way they've defended,
it's got a lot of 2018 Chiefs vibes about it.
It does actually.
Massive offense and just really shaky defense
and an MVP. So I think watch this space on Russell Wilson. I wouldn't be reinvesting on his MVP. Bid just yet.
That NFC West race is just completely hot up right now. There's 3, 6, and 3 teams. My lord, it's wide open. So if they don't pull their finger out a bit, the Seahawks, they're in danger of not even making the playoffs. Which is just bizarre to think.
They're quite lucky
from where they were.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, a topical one from today's matchup against the Chicago Bears. The Vikings put in another good performance here. My question being, the Vikings have re-entered playoff contention with their recent run of form.
It's a hard one, Blaze. Yeah. But I think it's another good call.
Okay.
Shock horror.
Very good. Love that.
Yeah, well, so we had a quick look at the numbers, and they're 4-5. Now, the team currently in the 7th position, so the last wildcard spot is 6-3. So they're, excuse me, they are 2 games out of that wildcard spot now, which is remarkable, I think, because I feel like they were 1 win for a long time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they'll get
so. And I mean, they're going to get to play the Lions probably again another time. I would have thought. And even the Packers, the Packers' defense is a bit shaky. So Dalvin Cook's he's doing bits.
Even today, the Bears' defense, which is obviously the trademark of that team.
Yeah, that'd be the best defense in that division.
They did a good job. They contained Cook for most of it. Yeah. He broke off one large one. He finishes with almost 100 yards. And you think, where the hell did that come from? That's how good he's going.
Yeah, he's just impossible to stop at the moment. He's not going to have a bad stat line where he only has 40 yards because it's just not going to happen. Yep. But yeah, you're not wrong. What is that? So if they're 4-5, it's not. So they've got 7 games.
Yep.
So for 7 games left, they'd have to win 5.
Yeah,
they have to go 5-2 on the way home. They're not getting in with it, and not in that NFC with how many teams there are. They're not getting in with anything less than 9-7. So they'd have to go remarkably well. Probably 6-1 more likely.
Yeah.
But it's not over.
It'll probably continue in the vein of form that they're in currently.
Yeah,
I guess
it's not over until it's over, but they are definitely looking uphill at it.
Yep. Last one here, maybe a bit of tongue in cheek coming from the big guy over here. Maybe through the microphone.
One,
did you feel good call, bad call? The Jets put in a good showing this week against the bye.
Nah, bad call, Blaze. I feel even worse about the Jets than I did before, and I'm just saying that because I'd given you 4 good calls.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's keep it even. In memory of the big guy, he's not dead. He's just crook, but I think we probably did him.
Who knows?
I mean, the Slim Slam shows.
Prayers out there for you, mate.
It's getting its trial run tonight, isn't it?
Thinking of you.
Yeah, big guy. So obviously that is going to be the good call, bad call in the books, and we will just motor just smoothly, or I hope it's smoothly. My vernacular isn't coming out too good now, but
you are having issues, no doubt.
We're doing a bit more talking than we usually would.
I know. I was already thinking I'm having way more trouble drinking me drink tonight because I'm not getting as many breaks.
Bit more under the pump.
The big fella's not going on his monologue.
Yeah, we need those 2 to 3 minutes. Hey, speaking of monologues, we're going on one right now.
Yes.
The tips, we've got Schnazi out in front, 106.
Yeah.
Slammer is in 101.
Yep.
And myself on 88. It was 9 and 9 to the 2 left and right typically, and another 8 for me.
Yeah, not our best week.
No.
But we all went a little bit left field on a couple of ones, and it all sort of just like, it averaged out. We all pretty much got the same thing in the end. But yeah.
I would have been pretty flat. Well, I am pretty flat that I took the Panthers almost as a gag.
No, I almost texted the group chat on Sunday night saying I'm going to take the Giants.
Yeah.
And then I didn't have the cojones to follow through. But I did have the cojones to put $50 on it. So, work the logic out there.
Where's your loyalty lie?
Yeah.
We'll jump into the games. We're going to step through them as we always do here.
Absolutely.
We'll start with Thursday night football, which was a bit of a surprise for me at least. I didn't expect the
none
Colts.
None of us tipped the Colts.
Certainly not the Colts to do them like they did. It was 34-17 in Tennessee there, and I think for lack of anything else, the Titans just really disappointing here. I would have thought.
Yeah. Well, they just absolutely nothing after half time.
Yeah.
Real Colts played a full 4-quarter game, and the Titans just rocked up for a half and then put the cue in the rack.
Yep.
Really, didn't they?
I mean, you had AJ Brown was quiet. Tannehill wasn't fantastic. They did a fair job of containing Derrick Henry for the majority of the game.
Yep.
And then offense, I think Philly Rivers would be pretty happy with the way he managed the
100%.
game. And
308 yards, 29 out of 39 passing.
Yeah, so that's very good
that's
from
a pretty
him.
good day.
And I think they had a pretty good day in the rushing. In terms of big clutch situations, they certainly turned the ball over.
I think the story of this whole game, Blaze, was Nyheim Hines.
Yes.
He had 70 rushing yards and also had 45 receiving yards on 5 carries. I think he had a score. Two scores.
Yeah.
Two scores. 1 rushing and 1 receiving. So really, it was just his day on Thursday night football, which feels like an age ago now.
It does indeed. I mean, South Australia in general has kind of we've been turned upside down and on its head, all the rest of it. Prior to all of that, they did play a game. It was a bit of a shock in its own right. And as you quite rightly say, Hines' game was quite impressive. I think
100%.
He's had a couple of shifty highlights along the way so far, but this was a real 4-quarter performance from him.
It was just the difference on the weekend.
In a backfield that kind of is crying out. I mean, they've got JT in there now, I think it is. And a few other pieces.
It's probably not coming along as well as they'd quite hoped, I wouldn't have thought either. It hasn't been, that feature back.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean,
even really the whole running class that's come out, like Dobbins hasn't done a great deal. No. DeAndre Swift hasn't done a great deal. No. So Clyde's probably been the best of them.
100%, yeah, I would definitely say so. And that's,
and, they weren't saying that he was the best running back coming out, but it was just he was the best fit for the Chiefs,
That's putting bias aside, obviously.
Absolutely. No bias on that one whatsoever.
Let's take that.
The one I'm most surprised about is DeAndre Swift, but we can get into that later.
I guess it's a situation more than anything else.
There's just too many cooks in that kitchen.
Hey, that's... They wish they had Dalvin Cook.
So should be taking that for anything you could.
Hey, we touched on it briefly in Good Call, Bad Call. The next game on the slate here for us was the NFC East matchup between the Giants and the Eagles. Jersey Cartel's boys. He was having a meltdown in the group chat when
isn't he?
True. Must be tough. The Giants did come away 27-17. I'm going to touch quickly on Danny Stumbles. No stumbles this week.
No, had a nice little 34-yard touchdown run.
Turned the afterburners on. Was just flying along.
Sort of stat the other day, Blaze.
Yeah.
Over quarterbacks that have had at least 40 rush attempts on the year, his yards per attempt is the highest.
Is that right?
I know.
So when he gets him, he gashes him.
I know. Probably gets blown out a little bit because of that 90-yard run he had, but still he had a 34-yarder on the weekend, so he must be doing something. And it's 40 attempts. Minimum of 40 attempts. So
he is running.
Yeah.
I think where do you go from here? If you're the Philadelphia Eagles, you barely beat Dallas, who had old mate DiNucci in there and couldn't hit the side of barn door, couldn't hit water at the ocean. They barely got over the line there. Now you have this really disappointing loss off the bye against the Giants. They're up and down like nothing else. I've got no idea where do they sit in the scheme of the NFL right now?
The Eagles?
Are they just too injured for anything else?
I was having a conversation in my head.
Yeah, okay.
I was just trying to think about which team is honestly going to win this division.
Yeah.
It genuinely does feel Giantsy at the moment.
It does, which just defies belief.
Yeah, which is why I got confused.
Yeah.
The Eagles, their biggest problem, players. I'm not sure that Carson Wentz is escaping. Like he is escaping the criticism, and I'm not sure that he should be. Quite frankly, like I've given him more excuses than anybody.
Yep,
essentially,
weapons,
lines, the deck chair, wide receivers.
Yep.
But to be honest, if you're getting, I read a quote today. Max Kellerman, I think it was.
Yeah.
And he said, if you're getting paid $100 million over 4 or 5 years or whatever it is, I can't remember. I think it's 4 years. Like you should be, you're getting paid like you're there to cover up holes.
Correct.
And at the moment, he's not covering up holes. He is one of the holes. He is holding them back at the moment. Like he's not playing good
ball
football
security
at all.
is very poor
at all. He's throwing picks left, right, and center. Yeah, you're right. Can't hold on to the football.
While you're on a roll there, I'm going to divert your attention a little bit to the head coach.
Yeah,
Doug Peterson's play calling to me is baffling. Sometimes.
Yeah.
They're trying to run this Jalen Hurts, special package like Taysom Hill.
That is
in
true.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I've watched more Philly games than I care to admit. Certainly the highlights packages. Now, every time they run a play with Jalen Hurts, now he's not, he's a new guy in the NFL. I'm not going to hang him out to dry.
Yeah.
I question Peterson's decision making when they're trying to run these little nifty. This is a new guy in the NFL.
What I'd say on that, and I reckon you're on the right track. I reckon you can get away with that sort of little gimmicky stuff when you are the New Orleans Saints and you've been, you've had, consistent 12-4 records for 4-5 years. Yep. When you're sitting there at what are they, 3-6-1, something like that, 3-6-1. Get rid of the gimmick bullshit and just focus on getting proper first downs.
And I guess I just think some of the times, he goes for 2 a lot. He does, 4th and longish and he's running Jalen Hurts.
That's it. I think you can get away with those sort of risky things when you're going pretty well and you've got the chips in the bank, so to speak. But at the moment, they just need to focus on playing good football, trying to actually have a proper game.
We're a fair way from the Philly special at the moment.
Yeah, 100%.
So
that works when the team's firing.
Let's maybe
when you're 3-6-1 or whatever they are. Yeah, maybe let's just cut it back to
pump
basics.
The brakes.
Maybe.
And I guess on the Giants, we'll just watch this space with them. They're making a case. We've got eyes on the Giants at the moment in that division.
So Wentz only had 208 yards on the weekend on about 50% completion percentage.
Yeah,
that's pretty average.
Nothing.
Miles Sanders had an alright day. He had 85 yards, but the Giants were much better. See, Danny Jones went 21 of 28.
Yeah.
So what's that? 75% throwing the football.
Yeah.
Completion percentage.
Rushing
244 yards. Yeah, a rushing touchdown. Actually led the team in rushing yards.
So you'll take that. Hey, I might move along here. The Packers and the Jags, in a bit of a surprise in how close it was. The Packers did come away in the end 24-20 victories. But the young man Luton kind of took Aaron Rodgers much deeper than we certainly thought.
Yeah, had an absolute laser beam for a throw on one of those. That was Keenan Cole.
Yes, it was indeed.
He also had it was a punt return for a touchdown.
Yes,
as
it
well.
was. Yep.
So he had a great day. He was pretty much the reason the Jags were in it at all.
Yes.
But there are little worrying signs for the Packers, aren't they? Some games they just really don't turn up at all.
I have concerns when I think of them at the moment. I think, straight off the top of my head, I think San Francisco game, you look fantastic. Yep. You look awesome.
Yep.
And then you come up here, and I know sometimes you lower your flag a little bit when you go up against a team like Jacksonville. But there is an element of a championship football team has killer instinct, and you put them away. And there's no way it should be Rodgers to Adams in the last quarter to win the game. I don't think it should be coming to that if you're meant to be a real deal.
I think you can get away with that on teams that are, have won 3 or 4 games that aren't the great group. But when you're coming up against the Jags,
there should be a steamroll,
and you're at home. I think you got to give them a little bit more than that. That being said, Rodgers still had 325 yards and 2 scores, but. I mean, really, they were behind in that game with 7-8 minutes to go.
I think it was, yeah.
That's not too flash. Aaron Jones only had 46 yards on 13 carries.
So he must be carrying an injury of some description. I mean, obviously
something's not right.
He's missed and he's back and he's out and he's in. I think they're going to want to try and find some real consistent form. I mean, obviously they had that big blowout loss to the Bucks not too long ago.
Yeah.
There's just elements there they need to have a think about.
And they were on the outer last week of the Elite Eight, so I don't think that's a performance that gets them back into the Elite Eight.
And not when the Dolphins and
the Dolphins were on the outer. The Dolphins will 100% be in, and I will not be letting it happen this week. There's no way.
We'll have to get into the big guy. Hopefully he's feeling better a bit later in the week when we hit into that.
Yeah.
The Lions and the Washington football team in a game that between the two of us we'd have about half a brain cell that we want to offer to this.
Yeah.
But with that said...
don't have a lot of time for it, no doubt.
No, the Lions did get their first home win of the year.
Yep.
Came away 30-27 victors here. Alex Smith had a good day through the air. I think he was pushing around 400 yards in the end. 390-ish.
He had quite a nice little day.
However, Detroit, with all the charisma...
390, you're right.
all the charisma and personality of a rock, came away with the victory here.
Sorry, I've just seen he's had 55 pass attempts.
Yeah, he was having he was heaving it. Yeah.
You haven't played for like 2 years, and mate, can you just go there and throw 55 balls?
He's got a steel knee, not a steel
Lord,
arm. God's
mate.
sake, yeah.
God. Oh my. Oh yeah, sorry.
We might be under the pump here to find really
relevancy
relevancy to talk about. But
Scary Terry had 95 yards on 7.
I think as you touched on in the last show, Scary Terry was probably going to be the best player on the field. Matt Stafford was also out there, but Scary Terry was fantastic. He had a couple of really nice plays. However, it is Detroit that come away with the chocolates here by virtue. Pretty much they kick more field goals.
This just had everything about a 2-win team against a 3-win team.
Yep.
That's
heaps of field goals, no highlights.
Not very exciting.
Nope.
Not a game you want to spend too long on, and that's why we won't.
Oh,
God, the next one's a stinker.
We're running into rough waters here a little bit. The Browns and the Texans went toe-to-toe in a game that saw 17 combined points. So if you're on the unders, you'd be cherry ripe.
Laughing.
But Cleveland won this 10-7.
Yep.
We saw the return of Nick Chubb, but it didn't translate to anything on the scoreboard, really.
No, I cannot even remember a time where I've seen a game end 10-7.
It's low, isn't it?
And it's not as if we're talking about two remarkably good defenses.
Yes,
We're talking about
the Browns come to the party with
Texans.
with a few ball players.
The Texans have got one of the worst defenses getting around.
Yeah.
Chubb was back on the weekend, though.
Chubb was good. It was enjoyable to see him back. I think when they can pinch hit with Hunt and Chubb can be the workhorse, I think they're going to be much better for it. And that's when they were finding some form earlier in the year.
How's that comeback game, Blaze? 126 yards on the ground, and then that boosted Kareem's stats as well. He had 104 yards as well.
Yeah.
Both had 19 carries. So they rushed the ball 38 times and only asked Baker to throw it 20.
Yeah, so
that is what I've said the blueprint should be all freaking year.
Yeah. I mean, the blueprint is translated
10
to
points.
it. Yeah.
Like, seriously. But, I mean, he did have that one at the end where he had a 58-yard run and just stepped out of bounds at the one with a minute to go.
Which he would
So, I mean, really, it should have been 17-7.
But if you had him in your fantasy team, you'd be flat as all hell,
you
I reckon.
would be annoyed, especially if you went down by a couple of points, wouldn't you?
Hey, motoring through this quite nicely, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers bounced back from their disappointing showing against the Saints here with a strong 46-23 win over the Panthers. C-Mac was out again.
Yes.
So that kind of...
Massive difference.
Massive difference to what they
Carolina
wanted to
looked a much better team against the Chiefs when they had C-Mac back. Yeah. And then, surprisingly in this one, the Panthers were actually in front at once. I think it was 17-14, and then in the second half just came out and did nothing. Yeah. And the Bucs just did what they wanted to do.
There was a massive element of wrong place, wrong time here.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Got the Bucs at... Oh, no, it was in Carolina.
It was in Carolina.
But, just got the Bucs after they'd been absolutely thrashed.
We probably got the proudest man in football, Tom Brady.
Yeah, he would have been
ego would have been bruises or hell.
Yeah, well, he went 28 of 39 for 341, 3 scores and no picks. Yeah. So...
big boys flexing.
That's not a bad day.
Yeah, he absolutely flexed.
Ronnie Jones actually had a 98-yard run as well.
Oh, did he?
From the 2-yard line, a 98-yard touchdown.
Okay.
Just went straight up the middle as well.
Antonio Brown's in that lineup now, and he is getting his targets. So they'd be pretty
7
happy.
targets for 69 yards.
And obviously Godwin is battling for health a little bit. He's a bit up and down.
He had 6 for 92, so and Evans had 6 for 77.
Yeah, so that's what they're... If you're talking about blueprints, we're talking air raid down there at the moment.
3 really top-tier receivers, so that's that. And that's 19 catches between the top 3 receivers, all about 70 to 90 yards.
Yeah, and I believe Gronk and Cameron Brate, the tight end position, both got touchdowns.
Gronk had 2 and 51 and off score,
Yeah, so they're laughing. They're laughing with that, but obviously the Panthers aren't, the team that you're going to need to beat come playoff time. So
no, they are not.
Those questions will remain, and like we touched on previously, now that that series sweep has gone the way of the Saints, more than likely the Bucs going to have to play away just to get through.
Yeah, they will have to go the long way. But, I mean, if they could get to the Super Bowl, it is going to be played in Tampa Bay. So
that would be
how massive
that's historic,
is that?
I believe. I don't think...
Yeah, no one has ever played a Super Bowl in their home stadium, ever.
Yeah.
And,
so,
there's been 54 of them. So.
And if it was Tom Brady, God.
Oh,
more
We'd
narrative.
Have to hear about that.
More narrative than that. We would hear about it. Hey.
Let me take a drink.
The Dolphins and Chargers. You don't need a drink for this one, my friend.
I'm pumped about this one, boys.
All right, let's jump in. Hey.
Note, I'm wearing the Guernsey jersey.
Yeah.
Jersey. I'm wearing the Jersey Cartel jersey again because they won again, Blaze. I said I was going to keep doing it until he loses. 29-21 was the end result here. It was probably the score is closer than it was. I think the Dolphins were all over him for most of this. Herbert had another good game. However, it is to a time down there in Miami. To a time, Blaze.
And it is coming along great guns.
Yep. 15-25. So, he hasn't been asked to do too much there. Just ease him into it. 169 yards, 2 scores, no picks. And that's what they wanted. That's why he's in the game.
The big guy...
That's why he's getting picked over Fitz, because he's not turning it over. Fitz is a gunslinger.
The big guy upstairs... Well, he's not upstairs. He's not upstairs yet. Did suggest that the Tua factor was probably to do with game management.
Mm-hmm.
And as it has turned out, Tua has come in and been very, very safe under centre.
Yep.
And they've eliminated a lot of those mistakes that were costing him. And that defence is allowed to just shut these teams down and they get the job done.
Absolutely.
Time and time again at the moment.
And he's just gotten better and better every week.
Yep.
Like he's just getting better and better. And as I said to you before, what did I say? I think they've got the Broncos and then
the Jets,
and then the Bengals.
And the Bengals.
Sorry, then the Bengals. So there's three pretty much like you'd almost knock them off right now as they're almost guaranteed wins. Same as guaranteed for the Dolphins there. And so we're talking about a team that could go from being 1-3 after 4 weeks to being 9-3.
So we want to get out in front of this quite early. I think we mentioned the Elite 8.
Yeah.
Now they're probably making a case to be up and around 5.
Yep.
If not a little bit higher with the way some of these teams are tracking.
That's right, Blaze. We were talking about it off air just outside, just not half hour ago, and we were trying to piece it together. Like, who would you take? Like, would you say they're better than the Cards? Well, you have to because they went into Arizona and they beat them. Would you say they're better than the Rams? Yeah, you'd have to because they beat them. Mm-hmm. Would you say would you say they're better than the Seahawks? Maybe.
They took them all the way.
And that was in week 3 when they hadn't got their stuff together yet and lost by 8 points or something. Would you take them over the Bills right now in their own division?
I think so.
I think you probably would.
Yeah,
so they are flying.
They are really
flying.
happy.
They are about they're a top 6 team in the NFL right now. The way they're playing and how good that defense is, and how good Xavier Howard is.
Yeah, we mentioned it, Byron Jones and Xavier Howard as a 2-corner duo like that. When you talk about the offense, trying to find its identity, it needs to be given the opportunity. And I think that defense, if nothing else, gives you a chance to win games.
Well, like if you're coming up against the Dolphins, you'd want to have 2 really good wide receivers. Yep. Because they're going to lock someone down. Like they've got a bloke on either side of the field who is lockdown corner. Yeah. Like stud.
It's quite masterful, really.
Like they had the Chargers on the weekend, so they had Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Both pretty good wide receivers, and they couldn't get a lot going. Keenan Allen, with like 5 minutes to go, had 2 catches for the day. Yeah.
And they've also picked up a bloke called Emmanuel
Ogba,
who was an ex-Chief, who is wreaking a bit of havoc on the defensive line there as well.
I don't know if he had got one on the weekend, but before he'd had a sack in 6 straight games.
Yeah, which is really good for that.
Yeah.
When you talk about a secondary that's already so stacked, you talk pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, if you can get pressure whilst having a
good
secondary, good luck. Absolutely.
I envy the quarterback.
They also had someone, the Dolphins had someone on the weekend called Salvin Ahmed, who I've never heard of, and he ran 21 times for 85 yards and a score.
Yeah, so they pretty much ran out of troops in the backfield there.
Yeah,
so
clearly.
And
have a listen to this. Salvin Ahmed, Patrick Laird, Michael Perry, and DeAndre Washington, who was at the Chiefs earlier this year. Yes. And we cut him.
So we're talking Jordan Howard, Matt Breida, and Miles Gaskin have all been the 3, and they're all injured. And that bloke comes out and gets 100-odd yards and I think 2 scores, or certainly one score.
One score.
So, everything's going right for them. The Chargers lose another close one. That losing margin for them is just, quite amazing considering they're 2-7 or whatever it is.
2-7, yes. They're 2-7.
Yeah, so, but I guess silver lining, Justin Herbert. I mean, we say it week after week after week. Quite impressive for a young man.
He's absolutely flying, no doubt.
It came in probably under the radar a little bit for a lot of people in a draft that had Joe Burrow and Tua coming out. So they'd be really happy with that.
Yeah, playing up there in Oregon, no one's even really talking about him, really. Yeah. He still went 6 overall, and I think you'd have to say at the moment, offensive rookie of the year, it's his at the moment.
I think so.
It's not. I think he's gone past Burrow.
There's a couple of blokes in the wide receiver position that probably have something to say if it wasn't such a quarterback award.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Jefferson up there in Minnesota.
Jefferson and Claypool come to mind straight away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And even Ayuk down in San Francisco, I have a sneaky watch of him at the moment.
Yeah, true. Does a lot of different things well.
A depleted wide receiver room. He's tracking it right. The Raiders and the Broncos in a really disappointing game for Denver. Yeah. Like a really disappointing showing.
Just monologue a bit. Tell the people what you saw on that highlight package
before. I didn't actually catch this one up until today when we do our little pre-show warm-up, I guess you'd call it. And we run through all the games. We have a bit of a chat and get our thoughts in a line as, having a peek behind the curtain a little bit. But I saw the Denver Broncos and I saw a guy called Drew Lock. Yeah. Now, at the end of last year, he's all the rage. They went 5 and
5-1 on the way home. Yeah.
So and they're talking. John Elway's come out and said, "Yeah, we found our quarterback. We've done this, we've done that."
Yep.
Now, this year, injuries aside, I'm not going to completely smack you because you do have injuries. However, I cannot understate how disappointing it was watching even just a 15-minute package of the Broncos game to see him throw 4 picks, and only probably one of them was that 50-50 kind of, you're a bit stiff.
Yeah,
like
he laced out the others.
Yeah, he got jumped.
Yeah.
The other 3, you're talking about an NFL quarterback who's supposed to be leading a pretty proud franchise out of, a few years now of being subpar, probably since Peyton left, really.
Yep.
I don't know where you go from here if you've committed to Drew Lock and you think he's your guy, and then you see a performance like that. Now, granted, the Raiders are going all right. So, but I think if you actually go back and watch these plays, they are deplorable. Like, we're talking
it's just not reading the
underthrows,
field properly at all, is it? It's just...
And when I see that, Sam, though, I get jumpy, and I don't give a rat's about Denver sucking. No. That's great. But a guy that cannot read the play like that, that's not necessarily skill, or it's not necessarily in knowing the playbook. Sometimes it's just innate. And if you can't feel it, if you don't have a feel for it,
so what are we talking? We're talking he's had probably by the time the season's over, he'll have had about a year and a half with the head job the whole time. If it doesn't get better in the second half of the season, we'll be looking at next year being make or break, no doubt. Because if he goes like he has been going this year, next year, I think he'll be looking for a job.
100%. Well, you're talking about a division that's already got Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Now you got Justin Herbert. Now you got Justin Herbert,
and Carr's playing pretty well.
And Derek Carr's right up there at the minute, playing some good football. So I think, we always talk about having the best quarterback in your division to give you the best shot at playing in the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Well, if you're 4th, I don't like his chances.
Yeah, and right. They are 4th at the moment, no doubt.
And that's with injuries not considered. You add that in with Von Miller, who's on that the wrong side of 30 anyway, and Cortland Sutton and the like. That it just it's a really disappointing state for that franchise that we had high hopes for at the start of the year.
That's exactly right, Buzz. And the Raiders won 37-12.
Yep.
And because of all the turnovers, didn't even have to put up any yards on the board. Like, Carr's only had to throw it 25 times for 154 yards. The 2 running backs have had 21 and 16 carries between them, and it had about 120 and 80 yards respectively.
Yeah, it's utterly insipid.
Just didn't have to do anything to beat them.
Yeah.
Like, you're never going to win a game like that. You're just beating yourself.
Yeah.
So, turnovers are massive in the NFL. 1 turnover is massive. 2 turnovers is huge. If you're having 4, you're not winning a game.
These throws, my God.
It's just not happening, is it?
It's quite frustrating to watch. I don't even go for Denver remotely. So,
Absolutely. Now let's get into one of the best games of the year.
Yes, this was a real cracker. A game that has rewatchability coming out the wazoo. We touched it on it in Good Call, Bad Call. We saw the Cardinals here come away 32-30. Now, the Bills they went up with about 30 seconds to go. Allen connected with Diggs, and they're all going bunter. They think they're home. Then a little guy called Kyler Murray steps in and decides he's going to just nip around, dodge the rush.
Throw up 50 yards.
Couldn't see the end zone because he's 5'0" and there's about 40 people in front of him.
Yeah.
And he's just heaved it on a prayer, and luckily for him, Jesus answered.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And his name is DeAndre Hopkins.
The nuke answered. Yeah.
So I think this is the game that, out of all the ones, and like we said, probably the game of the year at the minute. Go back and watch this. This was fun. This was really, really
absolute
fun.
Beauty.
Yeah.
Absolute beauty. Where do you even start with this one? It was up and down. It just had everything.
Yeah.
Like, Patrick Peterson had a pick. Like, Cardinals came from behind. Then the Bills were in front late. And then the Cardinals get back in front. Arguably one of the greatest Hail Mary catches you'll ever see.
I think so.
It was just, this game had it was mind-boggling.
And we thought it was going to be good, but I don't think we would have expected it to be that.
But the 2 young quarterbacks, Kyler Murray and Josh Allen, just absolutely slinging it out in the desert. Great matchup.
If we're talking about the MVP race calling off a little bit, I think Kyler might be approaching that conversation.
I don't know if I'd get quite to MVP conversation, Blaze, but I will say this. We had a little chat last week about whether he was better than Lamar.
Yeah. God.
Well,
that question.
If you watch just the weekend's game alone of Lamar against New England and then Kyler up against the Bills,
yeah, well, exactly,
you would have no doubt.
And
if you've only ever seen 2 games of NFL and they were both on the weekend and it was Kyler on the weekend and Lamar, you would have no doubt that Kyler's a much better quarterback than Lamar.
We're getting to Baltimore shortly, but I completely agree. I think at the moment there is so many questions on Lamar that just require answers that can't be given.
Yeah.
And that seat is just so hot.
Kyler is just a much better passer of the football.
Absolutely.
Much better.
He looks very steady, doesn't he?
Much better passer.
He looks very composed for such a short young man.
Yeah, and they are probably pretty even, I would say, in running in the rushing aspect.
Kyle looks fantastic when he moves.
He's so quick.
Such a smooth.
He's so elusive because he takes such small little steps. He can go any way. He's like watching the cat.
Yeah, his side steps and that are just
It's like somebody's up there with a laser pointer just doing this, and Kyler just goes all over the place.
Jesus Christ.
He can change directions like nothing I've ever seen, Blaze.
I like it. I don't mind the analogy.
It's like a Beyblade.
It's a bit of a deep send.
Oh, I'm all over the place. But it's what it's like. I've never seen anyone that can move like side to side as quickly as he can, north and south. It's just bizarre.
Absolutely.
Because he takes those such small little steps. It's insane.
He's probably getting like 6 steps to one of the big guys.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Absolutely. Pumping those Pistons along. The Saints and the 49ers went toe-to-toe here. The 49ers, under Nick Mullins' guidership here, kind of just came up a bit short against a superior team. But the story coming out of this one was Drew Brees getting injured.
No doubt.
We're looking at probably, we think, 3 to 4 weeks at this stage.
Punctured lung, and a couple of broken ribs.
Yeah, so famous Jameis, old crab legs. It's a shame the big guy's not here.
Mate.
He'd be absolutely loving that. But,
speaking of Brandon Ayuk before, he had 75 yards on 7 catches on the weekend.
Yeah,
so
I'm really impressed with Brandon Ayuk. I think they were pretty happy to get him where they did, San Francisco, that is. But, hey, New Orleans Saints, coming from, not nowhere, but, getting those guys back in now. Sanders and Thomas are healthy. Kamara is just a bona fide, unbelievable footballer. It's going to be a bit of a question mark for the next few weeks, obviously, depending on how they want to go with Taysom Hill and Winston.
Yep.
However, I think there's enough body of work there to say they're going to be all right for a while.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what the Saints have been all year, isn't it, Blaze? Yep. They're accounting for injuries and they're just getting through it. They're getting through games where they have to get through games. They're just getting the job done. It hasn't been pretty.
Yep.
It hasn't been commanding. You haven't gone, the Saints will just knock that one off.
Yeah, that's the point.
But it's been, they're just getting the job done
when
they have to get the job done. And that's all you got to do. Like, to be 7-2... And they've played the majority of the year without Michael Thomas. They've played half the games without Emmanuel Sanders. Yeah. They're without Breeze.
Yeah.
I feel like Kamara might have even missed a game here or there.
I think so. Yeah.
Like, how are they 7-2? Yeah. And so all that stuff's gone wrong. Almost like it has for the 49ers. Now, the 49ers has been worse. There's no doubt. No one's run into worse luck than the 49ers this year. But to be 7-2, all that sort of stuff gone wrong. In four-ish weeks' time when he comes back, we're going to have a fully loaded team, fingers crossed, no injuries, coming into the end of the season. And at the moment, they're potentially the number 1 seed, and the whole thing's running through New Orleans.
Yep.
So
sitting pretty.
Absolutely. Doing what they had to do.
They'd be really happy. I mean, they're, by virtue of the Seahawks kind of falling back into the fold a little bit.
Yeah, massively.
That NFC championship is way open. It's wide open.
One that we haven't discussed at all, and I've just thought about it now.
Okay.
So I'm coming off you fresh.
Oh, jeez.
But Kamara.
Dangerous.
Kamara might, in that MVP thing, he might be the most important player in that team because, he's so dual threat as well. He's such a good receiver as well as a runner. And he's had to do the brunt of the work for the first 9 weeks, and they're 7-2, probably because of him alone.
In reality, if we're really honest with each other, Alvin Kamara has been the most important player in that team probably for 3 years.
Yeah, why is he not getting the love externally?
You got Drew Brees is the historic quarterback. You got Michael Thomas breaking catching records.
Yeah, well, we're talking constantly about how Brees can't throw it further than 20 yards, and we're not talking about how they're still winning games and he's not doing that. It should be getting spoken about more.
Old AK-41, He is absolutely dynamic. I think he's probably...
Why is he not wear 47?
That would be good, wouldn't it?
Mm.
Yeah.
AK-47. You said it just then, but yeah.
It's probably a missed opportunity.
It is. It does feel that way, doesn't it?
They probably need someone like us in New Orleans. It's good food.
Just need us everywhere, mate. You need us everywhere.
Yeah. Clone us. I don't know about that process or the thought process.
You don't want to dilute it.
Yeah.
It's so rich already.
Jesus Christ. Let's get through these last 4.
I hate to give you a half slammer.
Rams and Seahawks here at a big upset for some.
Yeah,
I did pick the Rams, so I'm going to take that one.
I know.
But this was one of those games where old Russell Wilson's turnovers kind of killed him the end. I think he turned the ball over 3 times.
No scores and two interceptions. And he had did he have a fumble?
And he fumbled. And a fumble he lost as well.
Yep.
So you come away 23-16. You only win by a touchdown, but you get the 3 takeaways. So you're going to thank your defense for that one.
The Rams are defense heavy.
Yeah, of course. I think they ran the ball quite well. His name escapes me. Yeah, Henderson and a bloke called Malcolm Brown, I believe, are the two.
I mean, no one had more. They all had about 30 yards.
Yeah, but they scored. I think.
Yeah. Malcolm Brown had 2 rushing touchdowns. Henderson had 1 rushing touchdown. So once they got there, they were pounding it in on the ground.
Yeah. So they did what they had to do there. I think
probably just trying to keep it away from Jamal Adams, who's probably the only good player on Seattle's defense.
Yeah, well, that's a concern for them in their own right. Well, speaking of concerns, I suppose the Seahawks are one in general. I mean, you start
you're not wrong.
hot.
There are alarm bells going off everywhere there, I reckon.
You start red hot, you look fantastic.
Brought in Carlos Dunlap 2 weeks ago, and he's made their defense no better.
No difference whatsoever. So, like we've mentioned time and time again, if Russell Wilson isn't blowing up, and covering up this defense,
being asked to make serious,
it looks really raw.
Fixed jobs.
It looks really raw to watch.
Yeah.
They didn't look.
He's doing what they're trying to ask Wentz to do, and Wentz can't do it.
Yep. It didn't look sound against the Bills.
No.
Didn't look sound here. And that's probably 2 teams that certainly the Rams. Obviously, Bills being the other conference, but it's a playoff-like matchup.
Yeah.
You need to show a bit more, I reckon.
Yeah, it's not good. There are alarm bells there, I reckon. So
that'd be concerning.
If I was a Seahawks fan, I'd be very, very worried at the moment, because if that defense doesn't fix up with how good the rest of that division is, they could get left behind.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about the potential of missing the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with my voice. I think I've just got it, so we're all right. We're back on track.
Very good. You're getting a bit crusty there, big guy. Look out. I mean, we're upping our word permit.
That's it, aren't we? Where is the big guy? I'm dying out here.
We're crying out for the big guy. Schnazzy, please. Just a crumb. The Pittsburgh Steelers here and the Bengals. We won't have to burn too much.
No, I won't be
clock
spending too much time on this one. I wouldn't have thought, Blaze.
Pittsburgh did what we probably thought they were going to do to the Cowboys.
Oh, actually, Blaze, you sent a message today in the group chat about the matchup between DK Metcalf and Jalen Ramsey.
Sorry, yes, I should blow my own horn a little bit here.
You should.
I did on the...
You never do it.
I don't have that many opportunities. On the preview show, I did mention that I was hoping that Donald could create some natural pressure on Russ, and then by extension that Jalen Ramsey might be able to take either one of DK or Tyler Lockett.
Yes.
Now, he went to DK,
and
I think it was 4 targets for 2 completions for only about 15 to 20 yards.
Yeah,
so
didn't have a great game.
When DK Metcalf is getting all these comparisons to Megatron and all the rest of it...
Yeah. I mean, let's maybe slow the roll a little bit.
Well, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not kicking him in the guts by any means, because he'd snap me like a twig. However, Jalen Ramsey did the job.
100%.
He did the job.
100%. He loves to run his mouth, Jalen Ramsey. There's no doubt about that. But on
he
the
can play
weekend,
football.
he talks the talk, but he walked the walk on the weekend, no doubt. And he's probably the reason they won that game.
He's a dog, man.
Like if they let the Seahawks do what the Seahawks want to do at wide receiver, they're not winning that game.
Yeah,
because you'd be picking the Seahawks offense to score more than 16 points.
Correct.
If I'd told you going into the game that the Rams only put up 23 against the Seahawks, you would not be thinking the Rams won.
100%. I would have said they lost.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's a big tick for that Rams defense. They've got a lot of money sitting there with Donald and Ramsey combined, and a few other players in there. So, money well spent this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully. And they'd be wrapped where they are at the moment, 6-3.
Yeah.
Equal shared spot of the division lead. So they're laughing.
They'll be laughing. The Pittsburgh Steelers here and the Bengals, as we quickly kind of got into just before. I'll tread back over that quickly.
Yeah.
We thought we'd get a performance like this against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They didn't
That's
quite.
exactly right.
But this one was emphatic. It was dominant. It was on both sides of the football. Big Ben had 4 tubs.
Yeah.
They had a
and didn't train all week.
And didn't train all day. And had a couple of takeaways on defense. They came away 36-10 and really let Joe Burrow know what it's going to be like for the next few years.
I got this one wrong. Because I did potentially flag this as a little bit of an upset watch. Because the Steelers... And that's not my fault. The fault is the Steelers have been playing like pretty much crap for 3 weeks and escaping, against average teams.
Yeah.
So... I just thought that maybe they were in a bit of a rut.
Yep.
But this is a bounce-back game, no doubt. They did what they had to do, went out and pretty much did whatever they wanted to the Bengals and got away with it.
Yep.
So they'd be very happy with that performance. Joe Burrow didn't have his best game, only about 50% completion percentage, 210 yards-ish, 1 touchdown. T. Higgins did have a nice game, though. He had 115 yards on 7 catches. But yeah, you're right. Big Ben, 333 and 4 scores. They didn't have to do anything on the ground because he did whatever he wanted. Yeah. And then they had another bloke on the weekend, a wide receiver, blow up in Deontay Johnson, who had 116 yards and was it one score? One score,
and a good punt return, I believe.
They're just, they're finding players at wide receiver in that team at the moment, and they're just doing what they want to do. Juju still had a nice game. Claypool had a nice game, so
they're rolling along just nicely. I think,
and they don't have a very difficult run home.
No, not at all. That question of maybe going undefeated on the year is probably in vogue a little bit.
Well, I think the 3 hardest ones they've got coming home are the Colts and the Browns and the Ravens one more time, and they got the Ravens coming to Pittsburgh. Yeah. So who knows?
They're not tracking that flash because we will get into their game.
Absolutely.
Right now.
What a segue.
Very nice. Very smooth from the two of us, if I don't say so ourselves.
Absolutely. Now, Blaze, we do have to get into this too because they've cost me this week.
Yes. Yep. It's probably...
not happy about it either.
So I'll quickly get into the result and then we'll just fly across onto the guarantee. The Ravens, in the pouring rain, lost 17-23 to New England Patriots. Cam Newton and alike got the job done here in a game that but Baltimore will be smarting about dropping this one.
100%, Blaze. First time in a long time that they've scored less than 20 points as well. First time in a long time.
Really struggled.
Lamar, really struggled. Didn't have a great game whatsoever. I didn't like what I saw here at all. Yeah. Did not like what I saw here at all. If I was the Ravens, I'd be feeling a bit Seahawksy at the moment. Yeah. They've got issues.
Couple of
and at the moment, so what are they? They're 6-3, so they're 3 games behind the Steelers. So the division's gone. That's not happening. You're not getting that back. And quite frankly, you're now in a 5 to 6 team dogfight for the wildcard spots. So if you don't pull your finger out and start playing some better football, Baltimore, you may not even be there.
Cop that. I think, and it's got merit because at the moment you're not playing fantastic football. It's not the Baltimore Ravens of last year. And I think sometimes when I'm going to transfer a little bit here to the AFL. You saw my boys, the Adelaide Crows, in 2017. Run absolutely wild with this awesome offense, can't get touched the whole time, all the rest of it. And you fall over in the big dance, and you come back the next year, people have kind of figured you out, all your old tricks aren't working, and you've got no identity. Yeah. And it kind of feels a little bit like a parallel.
Yeah, and Harbaugh is also just not willing to try anything different as well. He's just trying, it's like banging your head against the wall. He's just trying to do the same thing and expecting a different result. Is that not what old mate said was the definition of insanity?
Yes, I think so.
God, Slammers. I'm on to
that. So you're going to tell yourself you're on tonight, and then you're going to say
3 years
7 times in a row. Yeah. So speaking of let's get into the guarantee.
No worries. So Slammers guarantee on the weekend. So Bucks were the first one up, $1.36, bang, killed it, doubled their opponent's score. No worries there. Packers, bang. I mean,
not
bit of a worry, but they got there in the end. So bang. Yep. Then New Orleans, that was pretty much in no doubt as well. They pretty much doubled their opponent's score as well. So bang. And then I'm sitting there, Blaze. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at my sports bet account and they're saying, $80 cash out. And I'm going, could just sit there and wait for Baltimore to beat New England, and I'll just take my extra $45 and go thank your mother for the rabbits, you know. And I'm sitting there, bloke, and I'm thinking, New England last week
could barely beat the Jets.
So how are they possibly going to beat the Ravens?
Yeah, it defies logic, doesn't it?
And then they do.
They go out there and do it. That dastardly Boston weather.
How was the end of the game?
Unbelievable.
Even if you thought, Lamar's, let's be honest, Lamar's not a good come from behind quarterback.
No.
There's no debating that. Nope. That's not even worth debating. But when it was pissing down like that, there was no chance in hell. Absolutely no chance in hell.
And you saw when they needed
Patrick Mahomes would have been lucky to pull out of that one, but he probably would have done it.
Yeah.
But
because he's different.
Yeah, he's different. He's Gucci, man.
He's different. In the pouring rain like that, I think your skill set is under the pump anyway. Now, and the question's already on his throwing ability. So, unfortunately, you need a 3rd and 13. It becomes a 4 and 10, and
Yeah.
It's all over.
Well, not to mention on 4th and 7 or something, he threw one to Dobbins. Dobbins just flat out dropped it.
Yep.
And there was no one within 5 to 10 metres of him. Or 5 to 10 yards.
Yeah, he was pretty much swimming out there, though, by that stage.
Hope swimming, yeah. He's playing Marco Polo.
He would need his goggles underneath that helmet, I reckon.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Water polo is what I meant, not Marco Polo.
Yeah. Well, Marco Polo could still be a water
game.
Man,
it's all happening in the water, but...
Let's just move along.
Yeah.
The Bears and the Vikings are going to be
Thank God we're getting to the end, Blaze.
Our last game.
I'm getting weird.
Yeah, it's getting weird. It's getting actually a bit hot. I'm surprised it's getting hot in here.
Oh, sweaty.
The 13 Bears, 19 Vikings here, and the Vikings, as we touched on,
what a snoozer.
Moving into playoff contention, but they didn't exactly set the world on fire today.
No.
But the Checo...
What are we looking at here? 4-4 and 5-5.
Yeah.
So the Bears have started 5-0 and then gone to 0-5.
Yeah.
They're saving so much money on Dom Perignon, though.
Yeah, massively. They're on the skid big time. That offense is an absolute joke. I don't think I've got any time to actually discuss it at this point.
Oh, now, actually, I was speaking to our friend, Callum, and he said that Nagy handed over play calling duties on the weekend to the offensive coordinator, whose name I don't know.
Yeah.
But I did say, and I said to him, maybe that's good, like a fresh set of eyes. Maybe you'll get something different out of it. Well, we didn't.
No, not
at all. They got the same crap.
We're talking the majority of the second half. They didn't have any positive plays.
Nah.
I think they had four.
They had 2 first downs in the whole second half.
Yeah. So it's deplorable.
Just terrible. There was nothing shits me worse plays than 3rd and 10 plays and they'll throw it 5 yards. Or they had a 3rd and 5 at the end of the game here and they threw it 5 yards back of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, so you're gonna pray that you got a screen pass set up or something that you're gonna be able to run 10 yards. Like, why would you not at least take a punt and throw it 7 yards?
Yep.
Then all the guy's got to do is catch the friggin' ball.
Yep.
Doesn't have to run. Like.
Yeah, it's.
And when you're struggling for offense, why are you trying to make it yards after the catch sort of stuff?
Got Allen Robinson.
You've got
Allen Robinson.
Got Allen Robinson. Even is it Miller?
Miller and Mooney are both there.
Yeah, Miller's pretty good. Miller's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like, just throw him the ball. Like, throw it. They're so frustrating to watch. I couldn't give a rat's ass about the Bears, but they are frustrating to watch.
Yeah, they are infuriating, even as a spectator.
How's Cook run the ball 30 times today?
Yeah.
30 times.
We only had 90 yards.
Yeah, 96, I think it was.
Yeah,
96 yards. So only 3 average.
Yeah.
3.2.
He did struggle. For most of the game, he struggled.
That's a good defense, though.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. That is a run defense.
Even the interception by Mac.
Yeah.
Like, where Thielen sort of had it, and then he bobbled it, and then Mac just sort of without even really seeing the ball, just ripped it out of his hands and just ran away with it.
You can be forgiven if you Adam Thielen for...
Well, that's what I said in the group chat, Blaze, in the fantasy draft. I said, look, if I was Adam Thielen and I saw that coming towards me, I would drop the ball too. I would just get the hell out the way.
That is going to hurt.
I am not having him run through me.
That's going to hurt for 6 months.
You'll be dead.
You'll be dead. Right. It's going to hurt your family for a lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely. It was not. Yeah. But that game sucked.
That was
13-19, just an absolute snoozer. Nothing to watch there. Thielen's lucky that pick didn't cost him, and he did recover for it. Because I think he had both scores himself. But
hey, that's going to do us in terms of the review.
Now, Blaze, I got one thing more to say.
Yes.
So I'm still going to wear this every week until the Dolphins lose.
Okay.
Which I'm just doing it now.
You're just riding.
I'm pretty much a Dolphins fan.
100%.
I'm not, but
you're on the bandwagon.
They're probably my second favorite team.
You're on the bandwagon.
It's skyrocketed out of proportion.
You and Schnell, you're hanging out.
So what did I say? The last time they were went on a 6-game win streak was 2001. Unbelievable.
Oh, is that the sidebar?
That's
is that
it.
it? Oh,
That's
Jesus
it.
Christ. You are really that hot on them. You want to stop the whole thing.
I know.
My God.
The last time they were 6-3 was 2016, I think, and they made the playoffs that year. Or 15. Can't remember which one it was.
Oh, well, for you Miami Dolphins fans out there, you've got a new bandwagon.
I'm a fan.
Massive.
Been spending time on the website. Reading articles.
You've got issues.
Yeah.
We're going to quickly touch on the Thursday night football game here because
we are.
With the big guy out of action, we're going to try.
He's got he's on the COVID reserve list.
We're going to try and give him some more time so we can get back for the preview show for the Sunday night. The Sunday night for us, or the Sunday football for the Americans. We want to try and get
Sunday games.
Yeah. Time zones are getting a bit confusing.
Hey,
we want to give him as much time as we can to get that show out. So this is going to incorporate the review for this match.
Yeah.
Which will be Chucky.
It's Arizona against Seattle, Blaze.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it is in Seattle because I watched the game the other week when I was on annual leave, and I'm pretty sure that was in Arizona.
Yes.
That was an absolute doozy.
You're right.
So that was it is the 6-3 Cardinals taking on the 6-3 Seahawks in Seattle.
Yep.
So pretty good game, that one.
Big game. Last time they went to overtime. It was a bit of a
that's right.
It was a bit of a doozy. So it should have been over 3 or 4 different ways.
Calamity of errors in overtime,
including a lot of errors from Russell Wilson. So he'd be looking to rectify That's probably
gone downhill since then.
That was probably the game when it hit the skids a little bit. So
it was only 2 or 3 weeks ago as well.
Yeah. Bit of a redemption arc here coming, I think. So it's in Seattle. So I think I'd probably have to take the Seahawks in this one. However, Arizona are coming along great guns. I mean, this is a great game.
If you're talking about in form.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Arizona are miles in front of Seattle at the moment in form.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't think either...
Say absolutely one more time then.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think either defense is crash hot, so...
No, you're not right. This will be a shootout. No doubt. Take the overs. Take the overs.
Yeah.
Pretty sure, did I have... Was that the game that I had the overs in the guarantee? I reckon it might have been.
I think so. Yeah, it was where it got blown out.
And they had 71.
Yep.
It was, yeah.
Hey,
give me the crown back.
Pat yourself. Don't point at the helmet.
The crown. It's over there.
Oh, sorry. I can only see.
Yeah.
We're rambling. It's different when Schnaz isn't here.
I know, no one's stopping us.
It's almost like we're just sitting here on the couch having a chat.
No, just having a chin wag.
We're probably running out of time, to be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, that thing just counts up in seconds, so you can never work out how many minutes it's been.
Doesn't help.
We've done 1,663 seconds, so who even knows?
So we're going to I'm going to take the Seahawks. You're going to go...
I'm going to the Cardinals.
You go with the Cards.
Yeah. I love the Cardinals so much.
The big guy is going to have to mail in his tip this week. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers, folks.
Yeah, because he's on that COVID reserve list.
Obviously, if you're not enjoying this one, we hope to get the bandwagon back to even out the spread. But if you are enjoying it, make sure you let us know and we'll consider kicking him out.
So true. We will.
Well, it'd be on the table.
So much more room in this room.
We'll table it for an agenda and a meeting or something like that.
So much more space for activities, mate.
There is heaps of space. The socials. Jersey Cartel, as always, has sponsored the show. Thank you so much to him for all his help. Obviously, the fresh jerseys that he's running. I've got the jersey here. So if you do want one of the Slim Slam and the Bandwagon Fan NBA jerseys.
Forgot to even mention Jersey Bowl.
Oh, Jersey Bowl.
Yeah, Jersey Bowl. My Dolphins against Schnaz's Chargers in the Bosa kit.
It is a shame.
No, we'll keep
At least we stopped.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad we went back over it. It's like 3 more Dolphins references I got in just at the end of the show.
You're an absolute...
Loves it.
To
a time, baby.
You're an absolute joke at the moment.
Woo!
What was I saying?
Who knows?
The Jersey Cartel, make sure you check them out. Obviously, the NFL jersey here, the NBA jersey here with the emblem are all available over there. So he'll hook you up quick, smart. We had a couple of people during the week get involved, which is fantastic. Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, as always, Slim Slam and the Bandwagon Fan for all your social needs there. SSBF Podcast on Twitter. Took a big drag on that one. Completely lost the plot.
Loves it.
Schnazzy's all over that one from his deathbed.
Yeah, he is,
We're making sure he's holding
Shout out to some dude, who followed us on Twitter as well.
Yeah, get that one out there. Why not? Apple Music and Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, really make sure you check us out over there. And, of course, on YouTube, as you're looking at us now, if you are, subscribes and likes there will continue to help the channel to grow, which is the main thing for us. We are seeing positive growth day by day.
But it's in triple digits.
It is a process. Triple digits?
Well, almost.
What do you mean? Oh, in subscribers. Sorry, yeah. We're actually approaching 5,000 total views, which will be a celebration.
There you go, sports fans.
So, and also, while we're on that topic, stay tuned to the socials for the announcement of the giveaway winner, which we'll be getting out there in the next couple of days.
We've got to hurry up and do.
Yep, absolutely. With all that said, Slammer, do you want to sign us off?
He's been Slim, I've been Slam, and that is not the Bandwagon Fan. Good night.